Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. So a while back I had done these videos where I would point out Amazon Prime video recommendations that I really enjoyed, and I would kind of just go over very briefly what they were about and why I enjoyed them. So I decided to start doing that again. People seemed interested on my, I think, last video, and I figured I'd throw Netflix into the mix as well. For a while there I didn't have Netflix, I have it again now, so I figured I'll do both. So from now on, you'll see a compilation of one Netflix and one Amazon Prime recommendation. So here they are. The first movie I would like to recommend, which is on Netflix, is Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher is a 2003 film based off of a Stephen King novel of the same name. And if you've watched my GameStop videos, you'll hear me reference the name Duddits, who was a slow guy that used to come into my job when I worked at GameStop as a, I don't know, 20-year-old or 19-year-old. And he was slow, and we would call him Duddits because of this movie, and he liked the moniker and would use it himself. So that being said, it's about this group of guys who have these like special powers and can see things or do certain things. I don't want to give away too much. And every year they go away to this cabin in the woods. And at this one point, something really bad happens and they're in trouble. Um, I don't want to give away too much. I'm trying to think how to explain it. Anyway, they have to get back in touch with Duddits, whose name is Douglas. He can't pronounce his name, so he says Duddits. And they get back in touch with him, and they're trying to stop this bad thing from happening. And there's a couple twists and turns. There's some really interesting elements in regards to the sort of abilities these people have. Their characters are pretty amusing and funny. Um, Jason Lee is one of the characters in it, and he's amusing. And overall, I just find it to be a Stephen King film that sort of was below the radar of most people. You know, it was never as big as, let's say, Silver Bullet or um, The Shining or whatever else he had part in. You know, I would even say The Langoliers was sort of more hyped at one point, but maybe it's just me. The Green Mile, you know, he put out a lot of stuff over the years that Dreamcatcher for me was never as in people's faces, but I thought it should have been because it was really up there for me in terms of its humor, the horror elements, the sci-fi elements, and just the interesting story and sort of twists in the film. So check out Dreamcatcher on Netflix if you haven't seen it already. And the Amazon recommendation for this month is going to be Ghost Keeper. So Ghost Keeper is a weird one. This movie came out in 1981. It was directed by Jim Makachuk, and it's a Canadian independent horror film, and it was $750,000. They're estimating budget wise, so fairly low budget. And it's not the best film I've ever seen. However, it is a ambitious movie that I feel has a creepy feeling to it. The way something almost like Suspiria does, but in this movie, I would say the payoff isn't as good. Maybe the characters aren't as interesting. But if you like that slow burn, sort of weird horror feeling, I would recommend this movie. I picked it up in a thrift store for I think $1 or two, not knowing what it was, just seeing that it was kind of expensive online on DVD, and maybe it's like $20 or so. So I picked it up, watched it, and then I proceeded to watch it a couple more times over the next few months. It makes great late night viewing, especially if it's like snowing out. It's um, it's about this group of people that go to a cabin, and I think they get caught in a blizzard, and they not a cabin, they end up in like this hotel, and there's some things in the hotel that they don't realize are happening, and it sort of starts developing into this whole story about evil like spirits being in the hotel and the people getting like attacked, and there's like a demon who lives out in the woods. I don't want to say too much, but it sort of has this kind of secluded feeling where these people are stuck in the Rocky Mountains in the snow with weird people and strange things happening. Again, it's sort of a slow burn type of film, and I wouldn't say it's done extremely well, but it's sort of, again, under people's radar, and I think is worth a view if you like old-fashioned, slow-burn horror movies. So those are my two recommendations for Netflix and Amazon Prime as of March 15th, 2018. Check those out, guys. Let me know if you've seen them, and let me know if you do watch them, what you think. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe.